Now, a look at whether having cameras in the classroom can protect children with disabilities who can be targets for bullying and can be subject to abuse by teachers. But cameras raise their own issues. Special correspondent Kavitha Cardoza with our partner Education Week traveled to Keller, Texas to see how a recently implemented law is playing out. And all this for our weekly series, Making the Grade.
Brigitte Rideau watches her son Terrence during his weekly therapy session. Horseback riding helps him improve his balance, muscle tone, and confidence.
I have never seen my son ride on a horse and he wasn't smiling.
Terrence is 21, but developmentally, he's about 2 or 3.
Okay, this is a picture of little T when he was just a few weeks old, a few days old. He came out smiling.
Brigitte says Terrence was always a happy little boy. Then in middle school, he changed.
He would cry for no reason, just cry out. Tears, and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm thinking it's stomach ache, I had no idea.
There were unexplained injuries, a bump on his head, a broken thumb, a dislocated knee. The Keller School District began investigating, and a classroom aide came forward to substantiate some of Brigitte's concerns.
Everyone started telling me what the teacher had done. He had dropped him too many times to count. I found out that he had slammed little T against the wall. I had no clue.
The Rideaus were awarded a $1 million jury settlement. The Keller School District is appealing and declined to speak to us for this story. But Brigitte wasn't done. An aspiring jazz singer, she put her career on hold and began a campaign to install cameras in special education classrooms. She testified in front of the Texas House and Senate, saying cameras would have prevented the abuse.
My child counts. Children like mine count too.
In 2015, Texas agreed. It became the first state in the country to require cameras in special education classrooms if requested. Ron Hager is with the National Disabilities Rights Network. He says children with intellectual disabilities are far more likely to be abused.
Students with disabilities make up about 12% of the student population. They've been subjected to about 70% of the restraints and seclusion. So it's a huge disparity. They are very vulnerable.
Ryder Warren is the superintendent of a nearby school district. He agrees with the law.
The mantra of our school district is we put kids first. My primary job is to protect children, and right after that, my job is to protect the adults that are in our buildings, especially our classroom teachers.
Under the current law, teachers cannot opt out. Neither can parents of other children with special needs. This could lead to privacy concerns.
That's been a kind of an issue with some parents, that their need for their kids not to be under constant supervision with that camera. I've heard some comments about that. I've really not had any comments from teachers.
The bigger issue for him is cost. Under the new law, if even one parent requests a camera, every special education classroom in the entire district has to have one.
That would probably cost to the tune of over $600,000. That is just an astronomical time and expense.
What would you say to the Texas legislature?
Pay for it.
Adam Find is in charge of technology for the district. The cost of cameras is just the start.
A camera such as this costs about $800. However, when we look at the total cost of operation, we have to take into account the video storage, the wiring, the cabling, the cost of installing, the cost of operations.
Samantha Cream is with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. She opposes cameras in classrooms.
Parents can't get access to that footage unless they know something's happened. They have to be able to say, I would like footage from this day and ideally from this particular time of the day. So parents might think everything's fine, everything's being tape recorded, but they're still not getting the information they need to know if their child is safe.
Cream worries abuse may go underground and take resources away from education. Instead, several disability advocacy groups say they would rather see more special education students in mainstream classrooms, more teacher training, and more background checks for staff. It isn't clear whether cameras will actually protect students. A lot depends on how technology is implemented and monitored. For example, last year, after the cameras were installed in Terrence's classroom, Brigitte Rideau noticed her son came home looking troubled. So she asked to review the footage. Terrence starts choking, and then 8 minutes of the tape is missing. Brigette believes the tape was manipulated and is urging for systems that would protect the footage. Still, she believes cameras are the best way to protect children.
Because it's the only voice for a child that can't talk. It's like that simple.
She spends her time helping other parents advocate.
My phone was blowing up from Canada to California to Florida to North Carolina. We all have a child that's vulnerable.
Brigette has gone back to work part-time, but takes her fight for her son's safety along with her.
I have a special needs son that was hurt at school and almost killed me, but I'm still here. So this song right here, I hope it explains how I feel about it.
The title, Here's to Life.
I still am learning all you give is all you get. So give it all you've got.
I'm Kavitha Cardoza of Education Week, reporting from Keller, Texas for the PBS NewsHour.
So here's to life.